Our workforce is composed of a lot of knowledge workers, and knowledge is critical to that organizational success. So we are dealing with a lot of information overload that is costing us time and money. This is one of the biggest reasons why we need to do knowledge management now. Our workforce is aging. It's requiring us to capture and distribute that undocumented knowledge. Who has a system to do that? We must transfer the lessons learned and the critical knowledge from new programs, for new programs and innovations from those who have tried these things before, and really try to make good use of the lessons learned. We can't afford to repeat the mistakes and learn them ourselves. So KM should be reducing costs out there. It should help us reduce startup time for new ventures. It helps us prevent reinventing the wheel. It also helps us deal with this huge influx of new technology, not to mention just simply data, and information sources that are out there. The workplace, the shift in the workplace demographics is going to be a huge reason why knowledge management is important. The 20-somethings, the 30-somethings operate with systems and with efficiencies that we only dream about. And so you have to really look at your workforce and the generations that they cover, and the different generations are actually using different practices for the way they do business. And they're really frustrated by going home and having access to all of this connections and information, and then going to work and having all of this restricted stuff that they have to work with. So that becomes a real huge issue when you have to work through, because one size is not going to fit all here. You have to keep all the generations in mind. And then there's just simply the changes in the way people communicate, be it through social communities or now virtual tools that allow us to connect people all over the world and hold that meeting and feel like those folks are right there in the room with us. This really changes the dynamic. But it forces us to be able to manage the knowledge that's needed in support of those meetings in a very, very different way. It's not like sliding the portfolio across the table anymore. We've got to make sure that those are out there and that they all have them. And sometimes email just isn't the only trick that's available. Now, in our KM experience, what we've tried to do is look at how knowledge management really helps an organization, how fast we can use and reuse what we know to increase the individual, the team, and the organizational effectiveness. That's the question that we have to ask. And I would ask each of you, as you start to look at your organization, ask that same question. How fast can we use and reuse what we know to increase some effectiveness? So in the little pyramid that we've got over here, the step change in productivity is sort of the first level. That's where we simply accelerate and transfer the use of the existing know-how. Once you get up to the speed and agility part, that's where we become as an organization, where we learn how to learn, decide, and adapt very quickly, and we're able to respond to unforeseen missions and requirements. And at the top, where the new missions part is, you're quickly assessing and building on experiences and ideals and ideas that fuel innovation. That's what makes us grow as a company and as a nation. So think about how your organization is going to work through that pyramid.